Did you talk to P. Diddy after converting? How can you encourage other artists to become Muslim?
Inshallah. First of all, for my Somali brothers and sisters, P. Diddy is not Somali. Although, you know, alhamdulillah. Yeah, I was spoken to Puff, you know, and alhamdulillah, you know, one thing I can say, and all y'all should make dua for the brother, inshallah, because one thing I can say about him is he's always attributed his success to God, always. We would perform on tours. He would always pray before we go on stage. You know, he would pray before he get on the plane. For a guy that flies as much as he flies, you would think he would be over the fear of flying. You know, so he does attribute his success to God. You know, but inshallah ta'ala, Allah guide him to the fold of Islam so where he can identify with the one true God and attribute his success and basically just his whole existence in his life to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when I've spoken to him, and I text him every so now and then just to check his pulse, see how he's doing. Because I know that, you know, having that magnitude of success, and this is for a lot of those guys, they all go through a small period of depression. Regardless if the bank account still says 50 million, they all slip into this depression. And at that moment, a part of them is searching. You know, part of them is searching. And by Allah's permission, they might actually encounter someone, such as myself, who may try to remind them of who is the creator of the heavens and the earth and everything in it. But after this conversation, of course, you know the shaitan slips in. And the shaitan knows our weakness. He knew our weakness from the creation of Adam alayhi salam. So the shaitan has always known the weakness of man. And after that brief admonishment, these brothers fall back into the coma of sinning because the shaitan reminds them. You know, you got that date with that Victoria's Secret model. You know, y'all was supposed to go to Sandro Pay. Oh, that's right. Totally forgot about, you know, the reminder of who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. You know. And like I said, a lot of these brothers, they fall into this depression because a part of them is just not happy. A part of them don't feel so successful. Because unless there's some type of level of growth in their, you know, in their striving to be successful, and they become at these standstills, then everything becomes repetitive. You know? If you go on a roller coaster a couple times, the first couple of times, you might not put your hands up. You might hold on. After the fifth time, it's like, sixth time, it's like, whoa. So this is what happens living that lifestyle. Because there is a limit to it. Because after you achieve every aspect of sin, the only thing is left is the whole contest about who has the most money at the end of the year. You wasn't in Forbes. I was. That's all that's left. But as far as the actual sins that's condoned, the guy with $5 million is doing the same thing the guy with $100 million is doing. The guy with 500,000 actually used to date the guy who had $50 million just married. You understand? This is how small this circle is. As big as it may look on TV, it's very small. You know, so, you know, let's just be grateful that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides anyone to Islam. Doesn't matter if they entertainer, an athlete. This is a mercy, to enter the fold of Islam. I'm happy for anyone. Of course, part of me wants to see 50 Cent a Muslim. Part of me wants to see, Jay-Z just, by Allah's permission, just throw that whole, conspiracy in the trash and accept Islam. That would be beautiful. Alhamdulillah. But once again, like I said earlier, we have to be grateful. Look at the brother Napoleon. A couple years ago, we wouldn't have been able to share the same space. We'd have came in an area like this with a crowd of people, and we'd have left. Somebody would have been stabbed. A young girl would have accidentally been shot. All kinds of things would have took place because we were rivals. He was down with Pop. I was down with Bad Boy. It was just like, blood in our eyes on sight. And by the miracle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, bringing our hearts together, joining us as brothers in Islam. I remember the first time I met with Napoleon. It was as if I'd known him for 100 years. I remember the anticipation and like, I'm going to meet him. We're going to sit down. We're going to talk. This is my brother now. And ever since then, we've been, super tight. And he's actually the one that inspired me to give talks. Because I was exercising that permissible form of selfishness. I was going to save myself and save my family. I wasn't thinking about talking to nobody. Alhamdulillah, inshallah. Go to the next.